Hey guys, project-zodiac here. I'm back with another unboxing, and this is something I'm super excited for. I actually just got back last night from my vacation, and this is something I've been waiting for many months to arrive because it just released, and it just got here a few days ago. So when it arrived, I was really excited to get back so that I can open this. So yeah, I just got back last night. This is gonna be a little bit of a long video, mostly just because I'm gonna be unboxing this and then a couple other things here, which we'll get to those after I unbox this. But yeah, I'm just super excited for this. Also, just a quick disclaimer, I'm using a new recording setup, so if things look a little out of focus or a little blurry, or if the sound is weird, I'm sorry about that. I'm just getting used to this new setup that I have. But with that said, this is something that's very special to me, and it's something that I'm just really excited for. So let's just get into it. Alright, so I got this, I pre-ordered this when it was announced back in April, and it's something that's really special to me. And as you guys can see over here, it is the Trinity box set for the Xenoblade Chronicles series. I haven't seen too many unboxings for this. I have seen like a few of them, and they weren't bad, but I still wanted to do my own. So like I said, this just released. Today it is August 8th. So it came out on, it shipped on the 29th of July. So yeah, it came here not too long ago, but I'm just really excited for this to see what's on the inside. So let's just open this up. Okay, here we go. And it's surprising because my reaction to how big this thing has been is for me, it's kind of funny. Now I'll explain why in a minute. So let's just take this off. A lot of things that come from Japan, and again, this was a I forgot the name of the store, but it's the studio that recorded the music for the Xenoblade series. This was exclusive to their website, and it was only available on demand for pre-orders for a limited time. So I'm glad I was able to get that. But so it is a Japanese company, and I just love how when you just buy things from Japan, it always comes shipped and wrapped up in a very nice, like a nice way, and a very like secure way. And a lot of like merch stuff always comes with these plastic things, which is really cool to help protect it. I don't think I'm gonna keep this though. Maybe I will, we'll see. So all right, here it is, the box, the Trinity processor box set. So this is very special because, as you guys know, Xenoblade Chronicles is one of my all-time favorite series. I've made a few videos on the series on this channel already, but this is something very special because this contains the soundtrack not just for Xenoblade Chronicles 3 and its DLC, which just released a few months ago. The DLC, the base game released last year, which is amazing. But yeah, so it doesn't just contain that, it also contains the soundtrack for every single Xenoblade game, which is really cool. And the problem though, and this is one of the extras that we have here, the problem is that it does not contain the soundtrack for Xenoblade Chronicles X. We'll get to that when we unbox this. Again, I'll do this after all of this. But yeah, so with that said, this is something that is really nice that they did, you know, a collection, a box that has everything, all of the songs, all of the DLC songs too. So there's a lot of material here. So that's why it's so special. I also gotta remember, I gotta talk about Future Connected. I'll do that I'll do that with the second thing that we got unboxed, or the third thing. So this box, when they originally showed how it's gonna look, they showed like just a scan of this, and then like of the side, I think. and I wasn't sure how big it was gonna be. I thought honestly that it was gonna be much bigger. I thought it was gonna be like up to this wide and like up to like this long. So I thought it was gonna be pretty big. And then I saw some unboxing videos. And I'm like, oh, that's small. Like it's so much smaller than I thought it was gonna be. But now that I have it in person, it's a little bit bigger than I thought it was gonna be. Like I guess on the camera it makes it look like this, but in real life it's a little bit more like, yeah, it's like up to like this much. But yeah, it's definitely not as small as the videos make it seem. And also it's a lot heavier than I thought it was going to be. For some reason I didn't think it was going to be that heavy. But yeah, so they did say that this wasn't really going to be the final artwork. It ended up being it, so which is pretty cool. So let's take a look at the sides first. So we got a golden band, and this is just how it sits, and there's kind of like a thin plastic around this golden band. Oh, sorry about that. And it just wraps up around the entire Trinity box set, which is pretty cool. And this box has a really unique texture, and as you can see over here, we've also got these patterns, and this also feels different than this. These darker patterns are more smooth, whereas the grayer patterns, they're kind of like rough. It's a very interesting texture. And then, so yeah, on the side we've only got 2 lines, and then we've got this pattern work over here. It's pretty cool. Alright, so, and then in the back I already showed. On the bottom there's nothing. So why is this called the Trinity box? It's because it is modeled after the Trinity processor from Xenoblade 3, which looks just like this, and it has the 3 Aegis cores. So we've got Numas, Ontos, and Logos over here. One little complaint that I had is that I felt like the image on this is a little flat, and I still feel like that. Honestly, I think that the images here, like on the side, has at least like a little faint indentation on it. Over here is just flat, so I don't actually know. There's some texture here, especially when you get to the center. So yeah, there's a little bit of texture, and it feels like it's a little indented, or a little raised up. Okay, yeah, it's a little indented. So I wish it could have been a little bit more indented, to be honest. Like looking from afar, you can't really tell. Only when you place your hands on it, you can. And I also kind of wish that these like hexagons were raised up just a little bit, and that the core crystals were also in place. Now, one thing that I'm really glad that they changed, or not changed, that they that I was worried about, is I thought that the core crystals were just going to be how can I say this? Just a matte color of it, kind of like similar to this gray. I thought it was just going to be a matte color, but thankfully, and some of the videos didn't pick this out, there's actual shine to them, as you can see, like right there with my ceiling lights. So there's a reflective shine to the Aegis core crystals, which is really, really cool. It does make it stand out a little bit more, and it does feel a little bit thicker than what I thought it was going to be, because again, I thought it was just going to be a matte design like this gray part, and it definitely sticks out. So it sticks up, which is something that I did want, except that I do wish that it like was raised a little bit. So I thought it was, or it is raised a little bit, but I mean, I wish it was a little bit higher, to kind of make you feel like there's a crystal in there, and it does do that job. Though the way it's raised and the smooth texture to it, it's like the smoothest thing here. Actually, it feels very similar to plastic on this, so it does definitely give a different context. So I do like that, and a lot of people didn't talk about that, and it was just something I was worried about. So I'm glad that it is technically addressed, so it does make me like this package design a lot more. So yeah, this is just really, really cool. I'm just so excited for this. So yeah, I rambled on enough, and yeah, I'm just really glad. I think it would have been cool though if it felt like, again, this was raised, and then this was like, you can tell like there's something inserted rather than just this being flat and then something being on top of it. But it still gives the impression of something being there, like inserted in a way. So I'm so glad that they did make it feel a little bit raised, which is what I wanted. Just wanted it to be a little bit more raised. But yeah, I've rambled on enough about that. Let's just get into this. Okay. And as you can see, as we lift this up, the gold band actually extends a long way. And for those of you that don't know, this is actually something that is in the games. It's one of the most important aspects of the stories of the Xenoblade games. And it's kind of what was connected to the conduit, or the Zohar, which has basically like universal power. And they kind of granted them, because from these crystals, human artificial life grew from them. It's hard to explain, but they're insanely like powerful and basically do a lot of things in the story. So it's really interesting though. But yeah, so let's just get into this. I do wonder where the conduit went though. It's not something that was answered. But yeah, so then we got it over here. We've got 20 discs, and yeah, this is the shot of the planet. Now, I don't know. I kind of wish that this was lined up in a different order, because if you're pulling it out with the way that the Trinity box set's supposed to be, the Trinity processor, Numa's core is at the top. So yeah, if you pull it out like that, when you first get it, I mean, obviously you can change the position of it. I'm just nitpicking. So this is basically the final shot of the series, or not the series, but of the trilogy. And this is kind of flipped. So it's mirrored right now, except that it's not. So when I first saw this, I'm like, why did they mirror it? Because it's supposed to be the other way around. Turns out, again, and that's if you take it off the way I just did with the green core crystal, Numa's core crystal at the top. Turns out it's not mirrored. It's just because it's supposed to be like this. So you're basically supposed to pull it with Numa's core to your right. But yeah, so this is the final shot, and this is how it looked, and it's really, really cool. One little complaint I have is that you can still definitely tell that the blue shooting star thing is coming. You can see it right over here. Yep, right there. On camera and on pictures, it seems very noticeable that it's there, but in real life, you kind of don't notice it. I mean, all the other stars here are white, but this is still the same size as them, and you know, it is blue, so you do see that, but you don't really think, oh, that's a person coming towards Earth, as it's supposed to be. So it's supposed to be Cosmos or Alma. So yeah, it's interesting that they went that direction, making it that small. But at least it is there, and we've got this beautiful picture of the new Earth formed. And yeah, so again, rambled on enough. There is a little booklet over here, so let's take a look at that first. And the back again has Xenoblade 1, or Definitive Edition, Future Connected, Xenoblade 2, Torn of the Golden Country, 3, and then Future Redeemed. And then we've got Xenoblade Chronicles original Xenoblade original soundtrack Trinity Box. And this is what I was talking about with, this is how the Trinity thing looks like in the game versus the image that they went with. It's pretty cool. So in here, we got a table of contents, which is nice. We've got the Mechanis in the back. And then we got all of the songs. Now, what is really interesting about this is you can tell that they made this with a English market in mind as well, or international, because a lot of the things here is, or basically everything here is in both languages, English and Japanese. So for example, disc 1 We got it here in Japanese, but right under it we have the title, which is in English, which is main theme. And then we also got the composer names and the people involved while making it. So for those of you that kind of prefer the music from the original version of Xenoblade Chronicles 1, unfortunately that's not included in here. This is the definitive edition of version of some of those songs. Most of them are still the same, but as you can see here, it does say sorry, that's out of focus. So it does say definitive edition, or yeah, definitive edition version for some of the songs, which was exclusive to the definitive edition soundtrack. So it does have everything. Again, it's just that for the definitive edition version of the game, they reworked a few songs and left a few songs just remastered. But yeah, so the ones that they reworked in the game is listed as definitive edition version. So we got some really nice pictures here on the background. They are a little dark though, but still pretty cool. And then we got music from Xenoblade Chronicles 2, which is pretty cool. Actually, where did that start? Okay, so it started over here. Also, it's pretty cool that for each game, it has their particular Monado. So we've got the original Monado here, then we got the Aegis sword here, to signify Xenoblade Chronicles 2. And I'm just gonna quickly go through this so that you guys can at least see these pictures. I know I've been talking a lot, but you know, if you guys want to pause it, feel free to do so. Did Xenoblade 3 just start here? I guess it does. So yeah, so this is actually no, this is for Torna, I guess, because that's not Pyrrhus sword anymore. Yeah, or maybe they just changed it up. But alright, yeah, I think that this might be Torna. Also, I think that this is the first time that the Torna soundtrack was released physically or something like that, or future connected as well. So, and then we got Xenoblade 3 with Lucky 7 over here. And Xenoblade 3 had amazing music. I still don't know which music, so I'm going a little fast. I still don't know which music I prefer, if it's 2 or 3s, but it's definitely those over X and 1. And Xenoblade 3 had the most music as well, which I'm really grateful for. And we got the DLC picture with the 3 Monados technically. So we got the Monado Rex, the Pyrrhus Aegis sword, and then Lucky 7, which is pretty cool. It's such a beautiful picture. Alright, and then we've got lyrics. So Beyond the Sky, which is such a beautiful song. And then Drifting. So yeah, and then you can see that there are lyrics in Japanese and then lyrics in English as well. And it's pretty cool. I really like that they got some beautiful pictures for this. Again, sorry if it's a little hard to see it. Okay, and then we got some messages. So I will just pause on this for those of you that do want to see them, but here are some messages from all of the people who worked on the music. I mean, not all of them, there's hundreds and hundreds, but like the main people behind them. Okay, I think you guys can see it like that. And again, I'm sorry, it's really hard to tell if this is being blurry or not from where I'm standing. And it's pretty cool too that they have like the signatures on the background, which I'll get to that in a little bit, because that was one of my complaints about this. So not a lot of complaints with this box set, really just like 4. And it's mostly just nitpicking stuff. And then this particular message over here. Also, if you guys really can't read this, I'm really sorry for like the glare and the position and this shadow of the microphone. All of this you guys can easily just find on Reddit or online, because again, all of this is just, it's in both languages. It's not that somebody needs to go and translate it. I saw a lot of people on Reddit saying, can anyone translate it? Because they didn't realize that it's in both languages. So a lot of people did already like post pictures of all of this. But we've got Tetsuya Takahashi over here, and he's basically the creator of the Xeno series. And I'm just so grateful for him actually finally being able to tell this story. We'll get to that when we unbox the third thing in this video. So yeah, this overall story that he's been trying to tell for the past 20 years, he's finally been able to do it, and I'm just so grateful, and I thank God for it, because it's an amazing story, and it just shows like keep chasing your dreams, you know, that it's just so beautiful. So yeah, his message is the last message. And okay, I guess I got a new complaint. It seems like his is the only one without a signature. So as you can see, all of them have like their signature on the back, the composers, but not Takahashi. I don't know why. So that upsets me, even though it's not like, it would have just been like an image, but still. Alright, so then we got some information about the production of each of the music in the games, which is pretty cool. Oh, this is such a beautiful picture. And yeah, so again, I'm just taking my time with this because I like to talk and show the things in detail, and a lot of people didn't really show off all these pages. So here's that full image that we saw, and then of course the Cosmos or Elmoth going through. So we got 3 quotes here. Guiding our memories into eternity, our memories will never fade away, our future upon these melodies. It's beautiful lines. So that's the little booklet for this. Before we actually get into the sleeves themselves, presentation wise, this is perfect. Really, I've made a video discussing good collector's editions or full set editions, and how the packaging or production design of the packaging and the things included don't match up, and how it's sometimes bad. And honestly, I was really worried, just like with the core crystals on the cover, that it was just gonna be random digipacks, which are these sleeves, and random discs. But thankfully it all fits a theme, and it all lines up perfectly, and the image that they picked is beautiful. Just one of my complaints is it would have been cool if the Noah and Mio flutes was included with this as well. That was exclusive to just the Xenoblade 3 special edition soundtrack, which again was also made to order on pre-order, which was sold out. The regular Xenoblade 3 soundtrack, which includes Future Redeemed, the Xenoblade 2 soundtrack, and the Xenoblade 1 soundtrack, you can still buy on the Porycon, I think is what it's called, studio's website. But these special editions with the Xenoblade 3 special edition that had the miniature flutes, or 1/3 scale of the 2 flutes in Xenoblade 3, sadly they don't work. They're not actual flutes, they're just like a display piece. So yeah, the Trinity Box plus that, it was exclusive to just pre-orders and made to order for a limited time. So I wish that this would have come with that, and that one also came with like a picture that had the party basically camping and this shooting star, which at the time we didn't know what it was. So the way that the shooting star was drawn over there was really well done. Here, you know, it's more like a screen grab from the scene. I just wish it would have shown like the little trail. But yeah, that particular one also came with a card that had that picture, and then like it had all of their signatures like on the card. I'm not sure if Takahashi's signature is there. If it's not, then that makes this a little bit more even. But it would have been cool to have that as well. But I'm okay with it now because I do see that we still kind of did get the signatures in a way when each one is saying their own message. So it does make me feel a lot happier with this, that we still do get the signatures in a way. Of course, on the other set, which again is only for Xenoblade Chronicles 3, it doesn't have the entire series. It's like actual like black ink. Obviously they didn't get those and sign those by hands. Those were just, they got like one master sheet, they all signed it, and it was like copies of that, which they scanned and then put it on this box set. It would have still been cool because it would have looked like they actually signed it. And sorry if you hear thunder, it's raining here, which I'm happy about. But yeah, so that was one complaint. The other complaint was a little bit about this, as I mentioned earlier. Takahashi not having a signature in here. If he doesn't have a signature in the other one, which I didn't pay attention to, if he does or not, then that's no longer a complaint, but I guess it's a complaint for both. But yeah, an actual fourth big complaint is that Xenoblade Chronicles X is not included in here. We'll get to that when we unbox this, but yeah, I'm just glad that everything fits thematically and it's such a beautiful picture. So I rambled on enough. As you can see, they do change colors, which is pretty cool, and then they are all numbered as well. So let's just go through these, and also you guys will see it in a little bit. All right, so we've got the first one, which Xenoblade Original Soundtrack Trinity Box Disc 1. I think there was another little complaint I had, which I can't really remember right now. But we've got Shulk and Fiora, and it's a nice metal card. It kind of makes me feel like I'm pulling out like a, due to the gold, it just makes me feel like I'm pulling out a memory card. Or not a memory card, but you know, like a storage card that that you put like in computers and stuff to expand the storage. It makes me feel like I'm doing that or holding that, which is really, really cool. And it actually does fit with all of this. So on the back, there is just a plastic thing. We've got Shulk and Fiora over here, which is really beautiful. Very nice matte shine, and then the characters have the same like smooth feeling as these darker parts over here, which is pretty nice. And then in the back, got Xenoblade Original Soundtrack Trinity Box Set, and then it says Definitive Edition for Xenoblade Chronicles 1. Little complaint, it's the shadows don't match with their position, but it's fine because I mean you can just hold it like this as well and it will work. So that one's more minor. It's nothing like, you know, they should have done it this way. I can understand why they didn't, so it works out. So yeah, got number 1 over there, and then it says number 1 here, and then we've got the Mechanis, and we've got the disc and a picture of the Monado. So those quotes at the last page of the booklet, it's in all of these. So here it says guiding our memories into eternity, and this is pretty cool. Let's just take a look at the disc. And I was also worried that the discs weren't gonna follow a theme, just like I was worried that the digipacks weren't going to, but thankfully they do. So we've got Xenoblade Original Soundtrack Trinity Box Disc 1, and then we've got the Trinity cores over there. Alright, now we can go a little bit faster through this. Alright, we got Ryan and Charla on disc 2, and then here's the back for them. I also really like the artwork that they picked. These are some really good, yeah, they're pretty good quality artwork, which is nice. And it seems like for each set, it's going to be the same quote for that series. So guiding our memories into reality is going to be in all of the Xenoblade 1 discs. So I wonder if the bottom picture is also going to be, yep, it's the same. But what's also really cool is that as you saw the top lines changing color, the discs also match those respective colors. So don't know what happened there, my camera just turned off. So this is for future redeemed. We've got Shulk and Melia. And it's raining so much right now. I love that. And as you can see, this is definitely a lot more purple pink. So yeah, this is a fantastic way to really honor Takahashi's work, his dedication to this series. Again, and now we start Xenoblade 2. We've got Rex, Pyra, and Mithra. So this is not something made by Nintendo. Alright, this is a little bit different. So we've got the world tree over here, and a nice blue field, green field, sorry. Our memories will never fade away. This is such a beautiful line. So yeah, so this was not made by Nintendo, because Xenoblade is a Nintendo property. And so yeah, it was not made by Nintendo, this box set. It was made by the studio. And the studio that, not Monolith Soft, it was Drama Kania. It was made by the studio that made the soundtrack for the Xenoblade series. And honestly, they did a very, very beautiful job. I'm trying to figure out where this goes. It's over here. So yeah, they obviously done a very, very beautiful job, Tora and Poppy. And I just wish that, you know, they included Xenoblade X, but I guess they're not the studio that Takahashi used to record Xenoblade X, so that's why Xenoblade X isn't included. But because it is supposed to be, you know, the complete series, I actually went out and I bought the Xenoblade X, which we will unbox here. Got Bridget and Morag. And I normally do not buy CDs. I'll only really get a CD if it's like part of a vinyl bundle. So for me to actually buy this, I also always wanted to buy the Breath of the Wild soundtrack, and the Tears of the Kingdom soundtrack, but I don't think I will. So and then we got, wow, I just completely forgot her name. Pandoria and Zeke. I just wanted to buy this just because it is something a little bit more niche, and it's not something as like huge as Zelda or Final Fantasy, and it's still something that means so much to me as well, just as much as Zelda does. And then we got the Torna soundtrack, which is Laura and Jin. So that's why I kind of wanted to buy this. I originally did buy, many years ago, I did buy the soundtrack for Xenoblade Chronicles 1 and The Last Story, and I do still have those. So that soundtrack was the original Xenoblade Chronicles 1 soundtrack, not the definitive edition. So we've got Noah and Mio over here. So yeah, that was not the original, that was the original soundtrack, not the definitive edition. And then we've got the party over here. Honestly, now I'm kind of wishing that the Xenoblade 2 one, so another little complaint, I wish that it had like the party or something in it, because it just being a green field plus a world tree, I mean, it still is official art, which these are taking off of, but now I'm kind of like, they should just put those in the official art. So yeah, the quote here is, "Our future upon these memories," or sorry, "upon these melodies," which is pretty nice. So yeah, so I still do have that. I'm not sure yet if I will be taking the discs out of here and putting it in there, in my binder, but maybe I will. Alright, and we also got their Ouroboros forms, which is pretty cool. And of course, it says Xenoblade 3 at the bottom. I kind of forgot to show that it said Xenoblade 2 on the other ones. But yeah, this is really, really nice. This is when you do something right. Yes, I have a few nitpicks, but still. Uni and Taiyon. It's pretty cool. But those complaints that I have, those nitpicks, really it's mostly just nitpicks. It doesn't take away from how beautiful and well done this set is. So, and then we got their order border swarms. I really like this blue. This is a nice blue. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm just happy with this. You know, Takahashi's been working so hard for so long to get this story told, and it's nice to see that one guy was able to do it. You know, and now we can see the next story arc for the Xeno series, because thankfully he says that there is going to be more. We just need to wait. Oh, and then that was Lance and Senna, and then we got their order borders form as well. So I'm just always grateful for this work and this story for the Xeno series as a whole. I was thinking about buying the Xeno Saga CDs as well and the Xeno Gears CD, but when I saw the prices, I'm like, screw it. I'm not gonna get those right now. So yeah, and I only really bought this again over just in general, just because it's something really cool to have a complete series collection of a song of a game series in one package. Nene and Riku, and yeah, this is also a nice like blue, teal, green kind of color. And I thought that was really cool that they were doing that, because normally people or studios and game companies don't really do that. So this was very, very special, not just for a niche item, and I say that in the best way possible. I have a lot of things like that. It's just, so yeah, just because it's from Xenoblade, which many people still consider a niche series, I don't. It's definitely a strange series. I mean, Xeno does mean strange in a way. So, and it's not really something a lot of people will understand or really like that much, but it is something that anyone that I've shown the story to or told, they're like, wow, that sounds super cool actually. And then they do look it up. So yeah, I don't think that Xenoblade is niche, but I can understand why a couple people will talk about it, because it is so complex in so many ways, and it tells things that's very different from what people normally like to watch or understand. So yeah, but taking that aside, this itself is a very niche kind of item, which is like the complete video game soundtracks, like series soundtrack, which is really cool. Am I going to be buying the soundtracks for the future Xenoblade games? Probably not. Again, this was just because it was all in one place. Even the Xenoblade 3 soundtrack I wasn't going to buy by itself. Again, the only reason why I bought this is because of the collection of it and the celebration of it. So I'm still so happy with this, and I'm so glad with the work that they put into this and the dedication and care, because you can really tell they put a lot of care here. They've got N and M, which is pretty cool. I really like this blue-green color. And then the last one here, Matthew and Ayal, which is really nice. So yeah, I was wondering if like the DLC ones said it, like Future Connected or Torna, but no, it just says the base game. So for this one, it doesn't say Xenoblade 3 Future Redeemed or Future Redeemed or Xenoblade Future Redeemed. It just says Xenoblade 3. And this is the last one, disc 20. But just to double check, I am kind of curious about this. Okay. So yeah, this does not say Torn on the Golden Country or anything like that. It just says Xenoblade 2, which is pretty nice. So another, I guess you could say like a fifth little nitpick is I really do wish that the image of the planet was not in this format. And then, okay, yeah, this just says Xenoblade Connected Edition, not Future Connected as well. Just want to make sure. It just really feels like I'm taking out like a storage drive from these. It's really, really cool. But yeah, I really wish that the image was laid out horizontally rather than vertically because it's like this. But that is still a very beautiful picture, and I love you can't really see it too much, but there's a bunch of stars. I just love it. So yeah, this is just so cool. All right, I'm gonna set this aside now. Let's just cover it up, and let's just get into Xenoblade Chronicles X. Now, Xenoblade Chronicles X is canon to this series, and I've been saying it since Xenoblade Chronicles X was released right after Xenoblade 1, except that a lot of people say it's not. And thankfully, without giving spoilers, it is now basically proven that it is. Before Future Redeemed came out, and I made, and you guys can definitely check those videos out, I made a bunch of videos on this channel, 2 videos in particular that asks like, is Xenoblade Chronicles X canon? One I think was before I beat the game, and then the other one was after. I know that one was definitely after the base game, not Future Redeemed, not the story DLC. But yeah, so I did make some videos on that. I definitely recommend checking those out. I do need to make a part 3 to that though, because of the information that we got in Future Connected. Now, don't go in expecting like Elma to show up in Future Connected. I mean, the blue dot could be Elma, we don't know that yet. But there is information like background talking, like, all right, there's basically a radio, let's just say like that, and it talks when the party is talking, and as the party is talking, you're not really paying attention to that radio, but if you hear the information on that radio, it kind of does really, it says things that happens specifically in Xenoblade Chronicles X. So yeah, that is all I can really say. There's just a radio that they are hearing, like an old radio, and they hear information that we only see in Xenoblade Chronicles X, but they don't make a big deal about it, because again, they're focusing on their situation. The radio is just kind of playing in the background. And that is also how it kind of connects Xenosaga into all of this, which was really surprising. Xenoblade X, I knew it was connected, and I'm so grateful. For Xenosaga though, I'm just like, okay, that I'm good with that. I'm happy with that. That's pretty cool. So yeah, so that is why I'm including this in here. So most Japanese music stuff, even vinyl, comes with this little side insert, which is really cool. Now for this though, it was mostly just for Japanese market, even though there is some English over here. So got Xenoblade X original soundtrack. I'm not gonna keep this case. There's just no point for it, but I will at least take the discs out. And then we got four discs. Yep, it's pretty cool. All right, that's such a beautiful blue background. Wow, I wonder if there's anything under it. There isn't, but that's so nice. So we've got Elma over here, which is pretty cool. The original Xenoblade 1 soundtracks was red with a black image. Then we got a little soundtrack. Let's just take a look at this. Here's the back. It just basically extends. Okay, so we got a little bit of a message in Japanese here. Your voice, and then got some lyrics in English. So I guess that this could have been marketed towards a international market as well, which is pretty cool. And yeah, so the name of the songs are up here in blue on the small, in the forest. Such a beautiful location. They should really make an X2, especially now that Future Redeemed is done and it does prove that it's all connected. So yeah, this doesn't really talk about like the composers or anything like that. It's just like a lyrics book, which is pretty cool. Alright, now we have some information on the composers. well, okay, just 2 pages of it. All right, not bad. All right, now we got Lynn as the next character. I really forgot this guy's name. I'm sorry. And then we got Tatsu. Interesting characters that they picked. Alma makes sense, Lynn as well, but I think they could have gone with adding someone else as well. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna be making a part 3 to like, is Xenoblade Chronicles X connected to Xenoblade? Because we got more information on it with Future Redeemed. So I don't know when that's gonna come out. I do have a lot of things to work on right now. So, but that leads into the last thing I wanted to unbox. This is gonna be super fast. These are actually custom made Nintendo Switch cases, and I thought it was funny because I guess the guy lives in the same state as me that made these, and I got them on eBay. There was a few on Etsy and they were pretty good, especially the Future Redeemed one. But I didn't really like how the Future Connected one looked from that person. So yeah, so these are custom made DLC ones, because basically Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Torn of the Golden Country did get a physical release. Sadly, Future Redeemed and Future Connected didn't. Future Connected makes sense because it was included in the definitive edition Nintendo Switch cartridge, which so yeah, so it wasn't like you had to pay for that DLC, it was just included in it. Future Redeemed though, you did have to pay, so it would have made more sense to have this be released physically like Torna did. And I do have Torna, when they released I did buy it physically, but this is just like a little like niche thing just to have, just to complete this series basically. So yeah, we've got Xenoblade Chronicles Future Connected, and then Xenoblade Chronicles 3 Future Redeemed. And the guy did a really, really good job on this. So let's look at Future Connected first. And I kind of basically this one was not one that he had. The person, I keep calling him guy. I'm sorry, I don't know if he is or not. But that person basically had like a custom template, and you would tell him what game you wanted, and he would just do that for you. I didn't tell him what pictures. I literally just said, here's the game that I want for the custom case, and then he just went out and picked the images, and then he asked like, oh, okay, how does this look? What did you think? The original back design I didn't really like. It was literally copy and pasted from the definitive edition one. I'm like, no, can you just make it unique, similar to how Torna and the Future Redeemed one is? And then he changed it up. So we went through like 3 or 4 revisions. He responded very, very quickly as well, so it didn't take too long. But yeah, this whole section here was just this picture, but it was like wide and it had more text. And then I asked him to add a fog beast and remove a couple of things that didn't really make sense from the story standpoint. And so he added this, and then I kind of helped with writing this little blurb over here. So again, I'm not sure if that is coming out blurby or not. It probably is. But yeah, so I'm gonna let you guys pause that. I don't know if you'll be able to read it. Sorry about that, but okay. And of course, okay, this is nice. I didn't know this. The inside is, okay, that's pretty cool. I didn't know that he put like a picture on the inside. That's really cool. All right. Then we got Future Redeemed. Now this is one that he already has pre-made there. So I didn't have to do a custom order for this, and I really liked how he had done this one. So that's pretty cool. And then of course, like, you guys can pause it and read it. So now that this one is blank. Okay, I mean, I was expecting this one to be blank, but the fact that it wasn't, then it gave me kind of hope that this one wasn't going to be blank either. But yeah, it's a very long unboxing. I am going to have to do a review for Xenoblade 3 Future Redeemed, and and then another video as well on how X is now officially connected, and Xenosaga is surprisingly connected as well. I'm thinking about doing a Xeno series timeline, which now includes Xenosaga. And I'll just be focusing on Xenosaga and Xenoblade, because basically Xenoblade is basically Takahashi's been trying to tell this story since the PS1 with Xenogears. It was supposed to be 6 games. He cut it down. They didn't let him make the sequels, so he left and founded Monolith Soft, and it was basically supposed to be a 6-part epic, which I do talk a lot about in my other Xenoblade videos, so definitely go watch those. And so it was supposed to be a 6-part epic, like the perfect work story, and he then made Xenosaga, and Xenosaga was supposed to be a 6-part game series that was technically supposed to be a unofficial, somewhat official prequel to Xenogears, which would cover the first 2 or 3 parts of the story. And after Xenoblade 3 came out, we kind of figured out that it was Xenosaga 3 kind of did part 6, because Xenogears was part 5. And we never knew that part 6, because part 6 was the one we had the least information on, based off of the timeline that was provided in the art book for Xenogears. We didn't really know what part 6 was going to look like. We thought Xenoblade 3 was going to be the first time we're going to be seeing part 6, but we actually saw a lot of elements from it in Xenosaga 3. We just never knew. Xenosaga 1, 2, and 3 kind of tells the 6-part story in a very rushed way, because it was supposed to be 6 parts, and then it had to be condensed down to 3. And he was not the director of 2, and then he came back for 3, and it was kind of a mess. So a lot of things are just quickly talked and spread out. So he wasn't really able to tell his story with Xenosaga. And again, it was supposed to be technically a prequel to Xenogears, but he kind of had to do it in a way that was also kind of going after Xenogears in a way, because of him trying to rush the story through. It doesn't really feel like it is a rushed series. It's just that when you look at the outline and then see how it was fully fleshed out with Xenoblade, you can tell that in Xenosaga it was kind of the second draft and it was kind of rushed. But with Xenoblade, he was fully able to tell that story without any issues or problems. And with Xenoblade 3, we see part 6 fully without it being rushed as well. So it's just been a very long time. So again, 20 years that he's been trying to do this, and it's just one of my favorite series, and now that the Klaus saga, as fans call it, or the mainline trilogy is done, I do have a lot to talk about, because he found a way to make it that Xenosaga was also a part of this narrative, and we never knew. So we all thought that Xenoblade was just retelling or reimagining Xenogears and Xenosaga. So now I basically just want to make a timeline where it does include elements from, or does basically show Xenosaga and Xenoblade, and basically Xenogears wouldn't really be included just because Xenoblade 1 and 2 is basically Xenogears. So Xenogears wouldn't be included because it kind of overrides that. So now, so it's kind of weird, because Xenosaga was supposed to be a unofficial yet official prequel to Xenogears, but then it ended up being a unofficial official prequel to Xenoblade. So it's really interesting in that, and in a way Xenoblade 1 and 2 does retell Xenogears. So again, I made a 3-part video about this. I'll put all the links in the description in the order you're supposed to be watching them, not including these videos I'm talking about that I want to make, because those aren't done yet. So yeah, definitely watch everything else. I explained those things a lot better. But thank you so much, Takahashi, for this amazing, amazing series and for sticking through to your vision and your dream and getting everything told. Because this series really, like, it's just really fantastic. And there's just like a lot of callbacks to even Takahashi's own like struggles with I have no idea where to put this, with getting this story told within Xenoblade Future Redeemed. Like you can see that he, even in the lyrics, because he wrote the lyrics for the final song, so now he can finally move on from this story. And I do definitely think that Xenoblade X established the next arc. I've said this before, I think I've mentioned it in other videos, but I'm sure that the next arc is probably going to be connected with what happens in Xenoblade X and addressing like Earth now appearing and what they're going to do and move forward with that. So guys, I've talked a lot for this. This is just a very special series for me. Thank you so much for all of you watching this, for those that watched all of it. Let me know your favorite soundtrack of the Xenoblade series. Let me know your favorite game of the Xenoblade series. What are your thoughts on the big revelations from Future Redeemed, without giving away too much spoilers. But yeah, guys, thank you guys just so much for watching. Were you guys able to pick this up? Let me know what you think. With all that said, definitely watch all of my Xenoblade videos and the ones I'll be making later on. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Rate, comment, subscribe, and I'll talk to you later.